Okay, so nobody needs this anymore, right? I can get rid of this. Okay, it's gone. All right. So a couple things we're going to do tonight. Obviously, we'll open up with questions. If anybody has any questions, you can throw them out there. Otherwise, I got a couple deals that I'm going to review, and some other questions about just different deals. People are asking about different deals. We'll do them all together. Okay. All right. So I'll open up the questions though. Please, if you have any questions, this is your time. I got a deal I'm looking at for Sierra tonight. Wilbert, and also Dave, you sent me one. Okay, and I got a couple deals from the group I was just with from Ottawa. So let's look at those two. Let's see where yours is. Okay. Dave, right there. Dave. Okay. All right. So go. Pick that up. Okay. So let's look at what we're going to do is I'm going to continue looking at some other deals that were sent to me. Then I'll get to Sierra and Dave. We'll do their deals after. Okay. If anybody wants me to look at something, this is the time to send it to me so I have a chance to review it. Please let me know. Frank, mine has a second one on the second tab of the spreadsheet. No problem, Frank. I can look at that. Let me see if I can find that one again, Frank. Which one was that one, Frank, again? That was the... Which one was that? What's that? Did I close that one? The Frank. I might have to bring yours up again, Frank. Let me see. Okay. So there we go. Okay, so I noticed that I got charged for the U.S. real estate info portal when I indicated that I did not want it. Really? That's the RES software, RESS software. Is that right? Rick, just send me an email. Yeah, just send me an email. I'll forward it to him. Okay. You should do that now, though, Rick. Okay, just so you don't forget. We can get that sorted out. All right. Here. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, we were looking at some deals from our Ottawa group, Ottawa team members. Let me look at, and what we were talking about. My apologies. Is what a very good important thing that continuing theme is that we want to here. We want to know all the options that are available to us for the investor if we're looking at that, or even ourselves when we're looking at that deal. Okay, so let's look at this deal. I'm going to share my screen here. Hold on. Okay, it's okay, Frank. I got it. I know. Okay. Okay. So no questions then. We're good. Everybody's good. That's interesting. Okay, just a reminder, everybody, please save this link in your favorites. This will be the link we always use moving forward. 8:30 p.m. Eastern is the time moving forward, okay? So, and everybody at this point, I assume, has the YouTube link. They've subscribed so they know when new videos go up. I did post already Tarek's video from last week with us. It's an excellent video worth watching, okay? I'm going to assume everybody's good at that point. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to share my screen and we'll go through some of those deals together, okay? All right. Okay, so let's do that. Let's share. Okay. Screen. Good stuff. Go. All right, can everybody see that okay? Okay. Good? All right, good. All right, so here we go. We got purchase price is $581,903. Rental income is 8,800. Number of units is 8. Per unit is 1,100. Where did you? This is. You don't have to share the location of this, but I can. We can definitely see immediately. The property looks really good. It's got a cap rate of 10.9. Gross rent multiplier is under 6. Our value is 633, which is actually above the purchase price, and the cash flow per unit is 36.6, which is way over the 75 we're looking per door as a minimum. Okay, we have bank financing at 80. Out of pocket, we're putting up 20. Amortization is 25 at 3.59. We can play around with that. And we look down here, monthly cash flow, as we know, 366, and cash on cash return is 30. So Frank, this property, we could do a lot with it because it starts with a great cap rate in GRM, right? So, immediately the thing maybe we want to consider is putting less money in. So we could, maybe go 10 and 10 and maybe pay, let's see, let's try 10. Okay. So if we move, everybody see what we just did? So we did seller financing with 10. We put up 10, so it split our finance, how much money we're putting in. You got a 30-year mortgage paying the investor 10%, which is outstanding, right? It's great for the investor. It's secure with property. They're making 10%. They love this. Our return has jumped to 50, and our cash is sitting at 303 now. Does everybody see that? Everybody see that? So Frank, obviously, I want personally, I'd want to get the return as high as possible versus the cash flow. I'm okay with the cash flow dropping, not below 75. Yeah. So again, we could go further. We could go 15 and 5, and we see that our cash flow is 272 and our return is 89%. Does that sound good to you, Frank? So yeah, so this property, see, when you get properties that are already in great shape with the numbers, you can make amazing. Literally, if we wanted to, look, what's this? How about that? Zero money in, Frank, and you make $241, and you're paying the investor 10% return. This would not be hard to structure together and find somebody who would be happy to make 10% on their money, right? Oh, no sound? Vincent, you can't hear me? Can everybody hear me? So, Vincent, we have sound on and off. Can you hear me now? Vincent, can you hear me? Vincent, I assume cannot hear me. So Vincent, you can. Okay, you're good now then. Okay, good. All right. So let me look at something real quick here. Okay. All right. Any questions about this deal? Frank, any questions? No? Anybody else? So Frank, let me ask you a question. First, I assume this is a real deal. Is that right, Frank? This is a real deal that you're looking at? Okay. Frank, are you interested in getting anybody else involved in your deal? Are you open to that? There's a catch. What's the catch? What? Because the owner does not provide the rental amount. You made up the rental amount? You had to estimate. So the property has 5 units and 3 commercial spaces. That's great. I like that even better. I had to estimate, yes. Where's it located? Based on the neighborhood. So Frank, what is he withholding it, or you haven't asked him, or what's the problem there? Okay. All right, Frank, let's do this. Folks, let's do this. Frank, next week you're going to come to the next Tuesday's class with an update, and then we'll, if you're open to it, we'll present it to the class as possible partnerships or investors. Does that sound good? Okay. The rent rolls you're going to have to ask the seller for. I mean, they should be providing it to you because they're trying to justify the sale price, right? At the end of the day, right? So we need to find those numbers, Frank. Just ask them, what the gross income is or the income is. We need to find that information out. If they're withholding, that would be kind of odd and weird. Is there anything else you want to tell us about that, Frank? Or are you good for now? They do. Yeah, she usually do. You're right. They don't always do. They don't always, maybe they want you to put an offer on or something like that before. People are odd sometimes. Okay, Frank's going to give us the amounts next week. Let's leave it there. Can be conditions to the offer? Yeah, absolutely. Just put you have to put a condition to verify the income for sure. But sometimes people want, well, put an offer in and then I'll tell you. People are odd. I've seen it. I've seen some crazy stuff. Um, yeah, leases are going to provide support to what it is. Yeah, some sign, yeah, exactly what Dave. Some say got to sign a confidential agreement. People are different. So we'll leave this one alone. Okay. All right, let's go to the next one. Let's go to. We did that one. That was the parking lot. Yeah, that was. What's this one? Whose property is this one? Oops. That didn't work. Hold on. It's yours, Michael? Okay. All right. So we're looking at asking price 59, purchase price is 59. Number of units is 600 a unit. Come down here, we have 20% for vacancy, maintenance, property maintenance, exact expense. That must be the taxes and insurance, I assume. Look at the gross multiplier is excellent. Cap is excellent. Just looking at this is a great property. Already it's a good, looks like a good opportunity to improve it, to make it better. Wait a minute. The interest rate is 9%. Is that right? Inputs from the property manager. Why is the interest rate 9%? I'm just curious. Because of the loan? That's the loan, because the loan is a smaller. Is this a mini home or motor home, or what is this? What kind of property is this? It's 2 units though. So it couldn't be one of those. It's 2 units. It's a 2-unit house, upstairs, downstairs, or duplex. Oh, the lender is giving you that at 9%. Duplex. Okay. So I just want to see something. Here. Let's go. Let's do that. Let's pretend it's 5. It won't be though. Let's do 4. So I would consider, let's go back to what you had. You had in the U.S. Let's go back to you. You had 8%, or would you have 9%? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, and you're gonna make $102. So let me show everybody something to consider. Okay. I'm just gonna move this over. So, okay, hold on one sec. Let's do this for now. I want to take that away. It's not my copy. That's okay. So let me show everybody something, okay? This was similar to something we were doing over there. So the yearly cash flow, this structure for you, okay? Let's see, my hard money lender can be a bit higher. That's okay. Don't. You don't have to apologize. I mean, if it makes sense to us, that's good. That's not high. Mine's not high. That's not high at all. Especially the fact that we're making money. So equals, but it is 9, right, Michael? That's the right number, is 9, right? 9.99. Okay. Okay, let's put the right number in. 9.99. Okay. So here we go. So let's go equals yearly cash flow, 2 grand. Okay. Yearly cash flow is 2 grand. Let's go equals, how much am I putting up? I'm putting up that money. And then I go equals this divided by this equals, okay, so this represents right here the number of years it'll take to recover your investment, okay, which is pretty good. It's going to take you less than 3 years to recover your down payment, and then you're basically free and clear of the property, which is pretty good, yes? Would everybody agree that's pretty good, yes? Okay. The other thing you could do, though, this is something you could do, okay? So a couple things. When I'm looking at this, I think, okay, well, wait a minute. What if I wholesale this property? Wholesale it, okay? Because, you know, 59.99 is what I'm putting in. That would take 2 years to get. What if I wholesale this for 5 grand? You know, would that be good? Well, if you wholesale it for 5 grand to somebody, okay, just to consider, okay, you could get that money back in 2 years, like 3 years, which is not bad. So basically, it's going to take you less than 3 years to equal that 5 grand. But I get you 5 grand now. For the investor, it would change this price to, another 5 grand. So let's say that the purchase price goes up to 64.99, 900. Okay. Now, the benefit of the investor, or a type of investor, is they're paying more for the property, yeah, the 5 grand, but let's say they can get the financing at 4 because it's a residential property because it's less than 3 units, right? Or even 3.5, let's say 3.75. There you go. The investor, even with the extra 5 grand that they're paying for, they could still make a great return on a property, even if, let's go 80/20. Even with the financing, they're still making $196 and 36%. Does everybody see that? So we could wholesale this property, make 5 grand, and the investor would still get a smoking deal. Does everybody see that? Okay, so that's one option for you, right? You don't see that, Frank? What don't you see, Frank? If I just, is there a part that's not? Yeah, sure. So what we did, folks, is we said, what if we wholesale this? Okay. So if we wholesale the property, the asking price is going to go up $5,000. Does everybody see that? So let's go back to here. This is what he was sitting on. Okay. So if we add 5,000 to this, okay. That's taking it away, but let's add it. Okay, for the sake of the example. So if we add 5,000, it's 64,000. Does everybody see that? Now it's 64,009. That's the purchase price, really, because you got to add the $5,000. Now, the investors can get the interest rate better. They don't need a hard money lender, so they could go say 3.75 for their interest on a $80,000. Or 80%, from a bank, 80% and 20, or mortgage broker, doesn't really matter. And for them, the numbers would look like this. Even with the extra 5,000, they would still be making $196 a unit, right? Remember, there's 2 units, and they would make a 36% return. Does everybody see that? For an investor, this would still be an excellent property at $5,000. Like they could easily afford to pay you $5,000 for this deal and make a great investment. They could further improve the investment. Yeah, absolutely, everybody. You can review this, but that's okay. We can. I want everybody to do this, and folks, as we get into this, and whatever spot you're at, don't worry. I don't want anybody to ever worry about asking questions. If there's a spot though you're confused about, ask the question, right away, and I'll stop and I'll review. No problem. Okay, it's not a problem. Of course, I want you to take advantage of reviewing these on the recording. So, Frank, do you see where I'm going with this? See where I'm going with this? Why would you stop at 5K when you bought it initially for 59, especially if the return is so high? Why would you stop at 5K? Do you mean, Frank? Let's make it more than 5,000, like 10. Yeah, you could do 10 grand. You could do 10 grand. But you got to remember, you could offer 10 grand. You could say, I want $10,000. Let's look at $10,000. Do the numbers still work for the investor? They do. They still look excellent for the investor. So you could ask for 10 grand. As long as the return is higher than 10 for the potential investor. Well, Frank, you got to remember who's the investor. That's our rule. That's not, could be less or more for someone else. Who knows? Our rule says 10%. So, could you charge 10 grand for this? Yeah, you could. But now you got to remember something. When you start getting this number, folks, this wholesale number high, the seller the buyer, the end user might say to you, hey, I need you to double close on this. Because you got to remember that the price inflated from 59 to 69, the mortgage this person's getting, is going to be inclusive of 59, not 69. Okay? So you can see what the market will do for you. At 5,000, I think it still works. At 10,000, it absolutely still works. I guess it's making sure that you're not so far away from retail value that the person, because the person's going to also look at retail value. If the retail value of this property is really, 65,000, they're not going to pay you 10,000, over and above because of the income. People typically won't do that. So we're at 5,000 relative to the price, and I really don't know what the retail price on this. 5,000 seems appropriate, but obviously we would want to vet everything and all information in. So going back to where we were, the 5,000, we could wholesale the property is one option for us, and the reason that it works is because the property it was an excellent income property. And we were just trying to look at the interest rate versus, what another investor could do with this property. But at the end of the day, you could do whatever you want. You can say, no, I'm good. I want to keep it. Let's go back. I want to keep it, because I'm happy to make the money that I make, which is fine at 9.9%. That's fine. Absolutely, absolutely fine. Just a quick point, if you wanted your hard money lender was willing to take, interest only, that would help increase your return and your income. Right now, let me change this to 0. Right now, you're sitting at 33 and 83, which still meets everything. 91 and 36 would just be better for you for cash flow. The other thing we could do is, let's see, sounds good indeed. Okay, good. What is double close? Double close is when you have to buy the property and then you immediately sell it to someone else. Instead of wholesaling the contract where you're not buying and selling, they want you to close on the property and then sell it to them right away. And the reason they want you to do that is because of the mortgage, right? Because when they take the property from you, if it's wholesaled, the offer to purchase is going to show a lower number. Does that make sense to everybody? So sometimes they'll say, hey, we need you to double close because the amount you're asking for, which we're happy to pay, is quite large, and that's going to affect our mortgage. Do you still pay the land transfer in a double close? Yes, you do. Still got to pay land transfer, depending where you are. But yeah, land transfer has to be paid. Land transfer is when the name changes, ownership. So land transfers, if there's a transfer, there's a cost. There's something called skip transfer I don't want to get into, where there's only one one fee, but I'm not going to get into that right now. But double close just simply means you can double close. They're asking you to double close the property. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Good? Good. Excellent. So we looked at the option for you to wholesale the property. What if we, and this is what you want to ask, right? What if we got an investor to put up the money, right? So we were originally 80 and 20, was that right? Was it 80? No, it was 90 actually. You had 90. What if, we got an investor to give us, the other 10%, where we had zero in, and we were willing to pay that one person also 10% on a 35-year. That's not going to work for us because the cash flow is too low, right? With that 10%, we'd have to either maybe go to 8. 8 work? No. 7. No. 6. We got a better idea. Why don't we make that a 0? And let's look at doing this. Let's make that a 0 because that's not going to work with the other investor. Let's do this. Let's go 0, 0, 90. I'm sorry. My apologies. 80, 20. Let's see what that does. No, not quite there. Let's go 90. And no, that might be not enough money to do it. I'm trying to get you out of the deal completely, get an investor to come in and split the cash flow. But if I look, yeah, you could do it. Let's do this 0. This is such a small amount, right? Let's go 0 and 100%. Okay, so here, let's look at this. If you could get an investor to, let's do this. Let's actually go 50. Or let's do this 0, 50. Let's do this at Yep, here we go. Okay, this is what I did, folks. Okay, so you go to a partner and you say, listen, I have a property. It's a good investment. It's got, I can get 50% from the bank, or I'm going to bring you in to get the mortgage 50% and put up 50% of the cash into this property. So you get the mortgage and put up the money, and we can split $204 a month. And then when we sell this property, we can split the profit. Yeah, the seller financing, there is no financing, right? Because the seller financing is, this 50 is from the bank. That's from the partner, your partner. They're not financing it. They're not lending you the money. They're saying, I want to go partners with you. Does everybody see that? Does that make sense? It's a partner, right? So to give you an example, just to give you an example, so if we go equals this divided by 2 times 12 in a second equals this, oops, this, no, it's wrong, equals this, this, that. So let's see what that gives us. Well, that's not very hard for the investor. They're putting up 30 grand. We might have to adjust this. Hold on one sec. 60, 40, plus 5, still kind of low. The cash flow, well, we got room. Let's do this. 3, 70. I think we could go 80, 20, 80, 20. Let's see what that does. Well, we could do better. Let's go 90, 10. Yeah, okay. What did I do there? Okay. What I did is I said, I was trying to make sure that our partner got a good return on their money. Okay, that's what I was trying to do. So we have no money in the deal. They get the mortgage. 90% mortgage. They put 10% of their own money in. None of our money's in this deal. That's why it says out of pocket 0. And for their 10%, their $6,000 that they're putting in for the down payment of this property, right? They're going to get half this cash flow, right? 172. So half the cash flow to them is equals. So just to show you, it equals basically it equals the cash flow per year divided by 2. Actually, it's way better. So actually, I can go back to 80/20 because I was only doing 1 unit. That's very good. Okay, this looks more simple. Okay, all right, here we go again. Same deal. They put up 20% of the money. They go get the mortgage. We bought the property. Everybody see that? So we got the property. It's a good deal. We say, look, we need you to put 20% down and get the mortgage for this property. And what we're going to do with you is we're going to split the profits. And for them, splitting the profits means what? They make $2,171. Sorry, $2,171, which is 18% of their money. Is that a good deal for the partner? And they get 0.5% of the capital gains. Does that make sense? And why are we going through all this, folks, is we want to be able to know when we look at a deal and we got something, what are the options available? Well, if somebody wants to be a partner, this is what I can do for you. If you want to be an investor, this is what I can do for you. If you want to be, if you don't want to involve in the deal, what can I do for myself? Does everybody see that? That's what you really want to do with these deals. So when you talk to people, you say, you know how to answer the question. If somebody says, well, I just want to be a lender, say, well, if you want to be a lender, this is what I can give you. Because at the end of the day, you need to know what works for you. You want to give them, the options that are all good for you. They need to all be good for you. So you need to know ahead of time, and it's not that hard. Just go through this and get used to this to be able to do that, okay? So any questions on this one? Because on its own, it's a good property. On its own, it's a good property. The advantage to you to do it this way with partnership is you got no money in. So your money that you were going to use for this, now you get to keep. Toronto. So why do we need you as a partner if they are putting up all the funding and you are putting up nothing into it? I'm missing something here. Carol, are you talking about the investor or the partner? Like we'll call you the investor. Who? Because we found the deal. The investor. You're asking why someone would put up the money for this deal? Carol, is that what you mean? Just to double check, is that what you mean? Carol, this is why right here. 18%. That's why. 18% return. That's it. That's all of it right there, 18%. Now, some people might feel like, well, you're not doing anything. I'm putting up all the money. And I totally understand that. Yes, but why wouldn't they do it on their own? Do what on their own? Take this property, Carol? Is that what you mean? They can't take this property. That's not possible. No, they can't take this property. I have this property under contract. Yeah. I mean, they can't take it. Yeah, they can't take it from us, right? They can't take it from us. And let's be honest. If somebody wanted to take the deal from us or was thinking like that, I don't think we'd want to do business with them, right? It's a great question. Absolutely. You got to see that. You got to show the reason, right? Yeah. Well, yeah, they can't take the deal from us, Carol. And really, if offering somebody 18% return on their money, right, plus some money in the sale, I think that's great. If somebody doesn't want that, that's okay. Because I'll tell you, Carol, I'm saying for me, I'm saying to everybody, I'm telling you, I do this deal. I would do this deal. That's me. I'm not saying that as an endorsement for anybody to do the deal. You got to look at your own situation. 18% return is excellent. So, I think it makes sense to me. But obviously you do what makes sense to you, what works for you. I think an 18% return is great. I think they found the property, and you could just do this. You could just say you could also remember we have what I do for myself, what I do for a money partner, what I do for a partner, and we talked about wholesale. You could just wholesale the deal. Guy could say to you, you know what, you're not putting up much on this. I don't know if I'm comfortable with that. Say, hey, you want the property? You can buy it from me for $5,000, or $10,000 or whatever. You can wholesale the deal. the key is to give everybody that you're working with lots of options, but all the options have to work for you, or there's no point, in doing that. Okay, So does that make sense to everybody? Is that good, Carol? See the angle there, And if they don't want to do it, Carol, that's okay. You just go to somewhere else. You got control of this property. And you're definitely, as far as I'm concerned, the hard part is the deal. The money's easy to get. I mean, money's easy to get. Someone could give you that from their line of credit. Someone could give you, the investor could be someone who's providing the down payment for their line of credit, and they would be making an infinite return. Really, if they were borrowing the money, if it was coming from a source that wasn't something else, right? So how did I get the property under contract without any money? I don't know what you mean, Carol. Without any money. I don't know what you mean. How did I get the property under contract without any money? So when you put an offer on a property, you don't technically need any money to get a property under contract. You can put a deposit, but it has to be refundable, right? As far as I'm concerned. How to convince the seller to reserve the company to you? Not the company, the property. When you offer to purchase on a property, folks, that's just buying a property. As soon as you get a property under purchase, someone's selling a house, that's what you give them, an offer to purchase. They can't take the property away. Once you put an offer on a house and it's accepted, you have control of that property. So they can't take it away from you. They don't want to. They want to sell it to you. They want to sell it. So that's what an offer to purchase contract is. If you offer to purchase on a property, you have control of it. Does that make sense? Good. Carol, you good? For now. Okay. That sounds ominous, Carol. For now. Okay. That's good. All right. All right. We're good with this property then? And this is what we can sell at wholesale. What do you mean this is what we can sell at wholesale? You can wholesale this property. Of course you can. Of course you can. As long as it's in the contract, this is assignable. Do you and the investor continue to split the cash flow until the property is sold? Yep. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but yeah, technically you would split the cash flow until the property is sold and then split the capital gains, like the capital made, and be on your way. That's fair, in my view. That makes sense? That's the minutia of the contract and the agreement. But in principle, I think the important thing to understand is us getting involved in a real estate deal and just splitting the proceeds. That's what it is. Yeah, no worries, Emmanuel. I got a couple more to look at that we should jump on right now, and I'll do my best to get to that one, okay? For sure. Okay, we're good? No more questions. We're going to go to the next one. Yeah, no worries. No worries. All right, so let's do, what's this one? The one we just did. Okay, so let's go here. Did we do this one? 11.6. Yes, we did. We already did this one. Okay. Let me see. This one. Did we do this one too? I think we already did this one, didn't we? Let me look at this. Have we already done this deal? Yep, that's mine. Okay, good. Sorry, folks. We were doing some of these deals on the earlier call. Is there any deals that from the group earlier that I didn't cover? If I didn't, let me do this. If I didn't, let me know. We can take it up on the next call, or you can ask me questions on it. I just want to get into a couple other ones. You sent me some, Kyle. Ours are from last week, I think. Good, okay. Brittany. Oh, okay. Is that the link? You're just putting up the link. Okay, from last week. Okay. Let's do this. Let me bring up Dave's, and then I'll do What's that? Sam, I joined on my phone at first. The files were there, different from the ones. Thank you. No worries. Okay, so let's look at. Okay, so Dave has a situation. So Dave, I'm going to speak to your deal. Okay, is there anything else you want to put in, or are you good to go? You just want to roll with it. You good, Dave? Okay, so here it is. So here we go. So I'm trying to help some current tenants purchase a home. They don't have quite all they don't qualify at the moment, only for 200K. And I propose a rent to own to them, but their grandmother is putting up the down payment. It doesn't believe in rent to own. She is dead set against them buying it, so I was thinking of another way to help them. And remember, I love this way you're writing this email, by the way, Dave. We make money when we solve problems and help people, and this is the approach. I love it. So I was thinking of another way to help them, to do the first mortgage for them instead. Currently pay $2,200 a month rent, and they don't want to go past that. So here's the problem. They have $2,200 that they can afford. They can't get a mortgage currently to buy the house that they want. Dave's proposing he become the bank, the first mortgage, to put up the first mortgage and work it out so they don't exceed the $2,200 a month. And as we go further, he breaks down the costs that they would have to incur as owners. So a 250K home, 16K down payment, which the grandmother is going to provide, 17.95%. That's the interest and principal against the loan that he would be providing. $1,800 a month mortgage payment includes interest and principal. This will allow $250 a month for taxes, $150 a month for insurance to put them at $2,200. Right? Makes sense? 7.95. What did I say? Yeah, 7.95. 25-year amortization, 3-year term with option to renew the mortgage. So it's a 3-year mortgage where they would be able to give a balloon payment at the end, or they would have to refinance with another institution, or Dave's saying, look, if you want me to continue the mortgage with me, I'll extend it for another 3 years or 5 years or whatever he'd like. I have a lead, so the money's going to be sourced. So it's not the deal. The numbers themselves, I'll tell you. We'll get to those. Right now, I want to listen to the situation. Then we can talk about it, and we'll definitely talk about those numbers. Okay. So I have a HELOC that I could pull for 235K at 4.95%, which I'd like to see if I can get that down. So he's looking at a HELOC, right? Interest rate's 4.95%. He's going to try to negotiate a lower rate. That's going to source the money for the house, right? To be the first mortgage on the house. So really, he's looking for money. He's looking for OPM. He's being basically, good money manager and hard money lender, right? He's being a lender for property based on the security of the property, and he's going to make the spread between 4.95% and the mortgage, which is 7.95%. And because if it's a line of credit, if it's secured with property, as you know, I'm sure, Dave, we only have to pay interest only on that loan. So that's going to increase the spread that you should be able to make on this property. Does that make sense, Dave? I'm sure you consider that, yeah? It's interest only, yeah, for sure. I'd like to see run on Tuesday Class C what it makes sense. Okay, so here we go. The numbers on this property. So let's look at the numbers on the property, okay? So here. Okay. So if we look at this property, 1 second. Let's pull it. Let's put it here. So typically I do this on a whiteboard, but we don't need to do that right now. We could use what we got. I think we're okay. Okay, let me do this. And let's do that. So everybody see it? 250K, 50K home, 16K down payment, a 7.95%. The interest rate, $1,800 mortgage payment includes the interest, principal. This will allow $250 for taxes, $150 a month for insurance, and it will allow them to put $2,200. That's the amount they were renting for, and they don't want to exceed. Okay, I have a HELOC at 4.9%, which I'd like to see. So let's look at this. Now, don't look at this as an income property because it doesn't really matter. Okay, it's not the income property that we care about. Okay, so gross rent, it's to see the impact of the financing. Okay, so one expenses you already told us were 250 plus 150, which is 4. That's what we're doing. It's 400. So let's put these at 0, 0. Let's make this 400. Okay. The gross rent. Okay, so it doesn't really matter about these. One second. He's going to put up the 80%. You're going to charge 7.9. Was it 7.95%? Just double checking the impact of the mortgage. You said a 25-year mortgage, right? 25-year mortgage. Yeah. So if it's 200 grand, no, it's more than 200 grand. My apologies. They're putting up 5%. Yeah. There it is. Okay, we got it. Yeah, there it is. 1805. You're giving them $400 to do it. Yep. 16K down. They're putting 16K down. That's not quite 5%. 16 grand. It's, you calculate 6% down. Is that what it is? So it looks like that's 15. They're willing to put up 16. Yeah, I think it's 6 point. Yeah, there it is, 94. Okay, there it is. Okay. Yep, $17.86 a month is what they'll pay. They're going to put 16 grand down, bank financing. You're going to charge them $7.95 a month on the property. So it's going to look like that. Okay. So there's the numbers, right? So now we want to ask ourselves, does everybody understand where we are, right? No questions? We get it? Okay. So now let's look at we want to look at something else. So you're putting up 235,000. I want to check something. You're getting charged 4.9%. Let's do this. 4.9%. That equals this. This. Oops, that's a percentage. So that is. Getting that. Okay, so what we're calculating here, folks, is the interest rate that he will be paying on the property. The loan is 235. His payment will be 11. That's got to be divided by 12. Divided by 12. There it is. So your payment would be about $970 per month, and your cash flow against the amount they're giving you, obviously, which is this amount right here, equals this, which is the mortgage payment. So you're looking at cash flow wise equals this, this minus this, which is the thing. So you make about $817 a month for the spread. That's if you're only paying the interest on the loan to service the loan that you're paying for. Does that make sense? So if you're just paying the interest on the loan, you got to remember something. They're paying you principal and interest. Yeah, they're paying you principal and interest. Yeah, you have to, Dave, because if they're paying you interest and principal, they're not going to give you $235 back, right? They're not. But you could do this, Dave. Watch this. Why don't you do this? So it depends on them how they want to look at it, right? But you could do something like this. You could say to them, because you're paying $2,200, I got a way to, reduce the $2,200 actually, if you want. How could we do that? Well, we're only gonna do 7.95 interest only. And look at that. It's 15.57. See that? So now they have an extra, $250 a month. In this case, it's like $230 a month. But do you see that? So you could say to them, if you want, I can do the same mortgage to give you a little bit of money at the end of the, I could give you interest only, and it would be 15.57 instead of 17.86. Okay, so that would change this scenario obviously a little bit, because this would become this, and then at that point the 588, you wouldn't have to adjust, Dave, for the any change in actual purchase, because they haven't given you any principal, right? So the principal amount is still the same for them. They still owe you $235 at the end of the term, right? So the benefit to them, and if I were them, I would take it. I would say, yeah, I would love that. I would love if we were paying interest only, because what it does is it gives them an extra $250 a month, and they actually end up paying less for owning than renting. How long can you continue for interest only? Is that a good strategy? In my view, 100%, and there's no limit. You can go 100 years, with interest only. That's my view. I mean, there's no real advantage to do that, because the longer you hold money, typically inflation deteriorates the value, right? So the longer you hold your own money and use it the way you want to versus borrowed money. Borrowed money is, when you borrow money, you're paying them back with a smaller amount, right? The dollars are worth less, actually, Michael, when you look at it that way, right? So inflation actually is a way you can make money in inflation by borrowing money. You benefit from inflation by borrowing money. In the back of the mind is their want to upgrade in 3+ years, so they may be wanting the equity. Yeah, they could do that. I mean, the equity that they're going to make, Dave, in 3 years is going to be quite small, as you know, right? It's going to be relatively small. In fact, I mean, if we looked at the amortization table on this, we would see that how much they actually get in equity. In equity, in the first 3 years, it's mostly interest, as we know. The equity is going to be very small. But I mean, it's just an option. It's just an option. Otherwise, you could just go with taking interest in principal, paying down this interest in principal equal to the interest in principal you're getting here. So there's no difference on what's outstanding. That's totally up to you. I think that it's your view, close to 9 to 10%. I mean, I think that if you're using an alternate source, it's not your own capital that you're using. I think that's great. Obviously, it's going to increase your return of what you're going to make. The one thing, though, is the 7.95%. I think is fair. It's a good deal. And the question becomes, is there somewhere else we can put that money that you have? You can also reduce the interest by negotiating it to make a bigger spread, as you were saying. All those things are available to you. If the money's just sitting there doing nothing, then I would say, jump in. 3 years is a great, it's not a huge amount of time. It's a good return. And you're getting the money from some, it's a loan, basically. So looks pretty appealing to me personally for myself. Okay, they have a car loan, so their interest only will allow them to. Yeah, there you go. That's great, Dave. Yeah. The loan to value is quite high, though. The loan to value against the property value that they're purchasing. Is that what you mean? Or you mean the amount they're putting up? Because they're only putting up 6%. Yeah, see, well, that risk is theirs, though, Dave. It's not yours. It's really their risk, right? In the sense that, I mean, they're taking that loan on. They could. I mean, obviously, they could claim foreclosure, right? Yeah. I mean, yeah, you would have to force a foreclosure. But what you can do, Dave, is you can get them to sign a quit claim deed, which allows them. You don't have to do the foreclosure. If you do a quit claim deed, if they default on the mortgage, they just have to turn the property over to you. You could do that too. Yeah, you could avoid the foreclosure yeah, you could avoid the foreclosure. I think I would definitely want that on this property because the interest rate and what you're doing for them is pretty nice. They're getting they're getting a good situation on this. What does this mean for him? Everybody is at the end of the day, the property value can drop no more than 6% over the 3-year period, or that will break into what he's put up in money, right? Because he's 94% of the value. If the property stays flat, he's fine. If it drops 3%, he's fine. But when if it drops 10% of value, there might be a challenge where the value of the property is less. Now, even in that situation, Dave, it's it's unlikely for most people to go into foreclosure. They're just going to have to extend the mortgage with you because refinancing will be a challenge for them, right? So they would refinance the mortgage with you for another 3 years, right? But in the case that they do something, I would have some sort of documentation or contract agreement saying that if you default on the loan, you just have to give me the property. So there's no foreclosure process that you have to go through. Does that make sense? Does anybody else have any questions about this deal? Yeah, no worries, my friend. Always. Any questions, anybody? Okay. So we are at 9:33. So that's what we're gonna do. We are done for the day. Well, let me see if I might be able to squeeze. Let me see. You know what? I wanted to do the other deal with Sierra and Robert. Let me see what I can do. Hold on one second. Let me see. Hold on one sec here. What I want to do is I want to do. You have a qualified. Okay, I'm gonna look at because it's how they come in. That's what I try to address. Um, uh, let me do rent to own. So we're gonna do the rent to own. She really wants this place. Let's do the rent to own. Okay, you guys okay to stick around a little bit more? Okay. This will be our last deal. Those other deals, though, send it to me. I'll review them, and I'm happy to review them on our next Tuesday call. Okay, no problem. Okay, let me bring up this deal. Okay, everybody see that? Okay, everybody see this? Okay, wait 1 second. Here. 1 second. So, let me do something. Do you have this property under contract right now? Okay, here we go. All right, so what do we have here? We have type rent to own, term 3 years, total profit 30,000, return to the investor. On the investor 17.9, excellent. Total option consideration 36,000, total option consideration percentage 10%. So they're willing to give you 10%, yeah? That's pretty nice. Okay, so let's go over here. Let's see, we had our pre-agreed price and we are signing contract tomorrow, but they came back saying they have to change price. The price of the house, they want to change the price of the house? Is that what you mean, Sierra? The initial price or the end price? The end price that they're paying, or you keep typing, I'll go over this. So townhouse, fair market value is 329, purchase price, builder came back, forgot about no GST rebate, so new price is 331. 950. Is that the price you're talking about, the change? So the real price is 331? Okay, that's not a big deal. Okay. First mortgage should be is 2673. Total mortgage, okay, got that. Down payment 65,000. Legal fees, appraisal is 250. The cost of getting the appraisal, that is. Initial option consideration is 12,000. Total investment 56. Okay, down payment, legal fees, appraisal. Okay, we got that already. Total initial investment 2.5%. Okay, less balance, first mortgage rate 4%. Interest only, we don't have anything there. Okay, so initial investment is 56,000. Initial option consideration, lump sum payment $14,000. Total profit for sale finish was 17,000. Okay, gains from the monthly cash flow, right there, 363. My apologies. Less payment. Okay, so these are all first mortgage, the property tax, the insurance. That leaves us with 363. And from the cash flow was 13,068. Okay, so this looks like a good deal. So what are we looking at here? This looks good. The tenant buyer is amazing. That's awesome. I'm so excited for you guys. I'm so excited for you. We got to make this happen. What do you need, Sierra? Listen to me. When you need anything on this deal, you let me know, okay? Anything I can do for you. Obviously, you can reach out to Tim also, and I want to make sure that this happens. You're looking for okay, joint venture partner, okay? So joint venture partner. What are you looking from the joint venture partner? How much do you want the joint venture to put up? Are you looking for this? 56? You need to get the mortgage financing and put up the 20% down payment. Okay, so here's the deal. Here's the deal, okay? So this is a deal on the table. Don't anybody do anything yet, depending on how we split the deal. Okay, this is what we're going to do, folks. This looks like an excellent deal. It's an opportunity for someone to get in. Maybe some of you have access to capital or capital with lines of credit or somewhere you want to take it. This is what we're going to do. This is the last deal we're going to do of the day. This is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to stop sharing. Okay, this is what we're going to do. Okay, so here, this is what we'll do. I'm gonna stop the recording and let anybody who is interested in this deal to reach out to you, to post their email, and you can do the same, and they can look at this deal and consider the opportunity here. This looks, to me, this looks excellent. It's a 20% return, almost 17.95 to the investor, and I'm sure there's somebody that